Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids, and today we're diving back into the Sand Devil's Fortress once again, where I actually have a special variation of one of the new teams that has come out since last I did a video on this dungeon. A special variation designed by one of my clan members. I've actually switched in clans in Sin. I'm now in the Wrath clan of Sin, and one of the members there, Grandelama, actually came up with this variation of a team, which makes it a 100% win rate team that can clear stage 24 of the Sand Devil in about 2.5 minutes. So it's very, very impressive. Now, the original team, the original idea, I've seen, I think a few people have done videos on this already. I believe this was the original creator. I hope it is. I'm sorry if it's not. It's all in Russian, so I can't actually understand any of it, right? And I didn't want to click like in case I start getting recommendations in Russian. But I think he came up with it. I believe his name is Riddick. But anyway, big shout out to him. Very clever. This was his team, but the issue was, and some of the variations I saw had Ninja running in a daze set, and it wasn't 100%. It could be very fast, but you could also fail, which is not something you want to do. Well, let's dive into this. I'm going to hit play, and let's go. We're diving in. The video is, unfortunately, only 360p. My clan member here, Grandelama, he's not a professional content creator or anything. This is just the team he was running. So you can see it's not the most amazing quality, but you'll get the gist of how the team works. And basically what is happening is we actually run Godseeker and Eerie in the lead, and we're going to fall into rotation. So we'll look for when this big hit comes out from the Sand Devil. Very simply what happens, everyone dies, right? Everyone dies. Godseeker's passive revives her. She revives Elva, and then Elva revives Ninja. Now, it won't work if you set it up without Godseeker in the lead, because Elva will revive Ninja, because he's legendary, she's epic. So here we go. She pops up, revives Elva, and then Elva revives Ninja, and then Ninja goes in with his A2 and chunks the boss, right? Very clever. And we just rotate through that stuff. You can see with the healing coming out from these two healers as well, the whole team, they get fully topped up during that sleep as well, right? So their HP is fully restored. They've got no decreased max HP. Ninja actually gets off another A2, which obviously doesn't do too much while the boss is here. We've turned off Ninja's A3. I'll show you all the presets and the gear. But yeah, we basically come into this. Boom, here we go. Let's watch it again. The passive comes in. We get the single target revive. Godseeker does a big heal. Ninja pops his damage. Elva passive and stuff is healing as well. And bam, we are through. And yeah, in terms of replacing champions, I was asking Grandelama about this. Unfortunately, obviously, Godseeker currently cannot be replaced. There's no way, but she's only an epic. That's not so bad. Elva, maybe you could replace, but she's just so strong in bringing the healing, bringing block debuffs, bringing the cleanse as well. I think it's difficult, and the revive. She brings a lot. Maybe you could replace her with somebody else, but I think it's going to be very difficult to do so. Like maybe a Duchess you could bring in instead would be my one thought, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, maybe Raka, but I think you're going to be vulnerable to the debuffs, and the decreased speed especially can throw off this speed tune because it's a very particular speed tune. The good news is that Ninja is certainly replaceable. The bad news is that the main replacement will be a Crizia, Void Legendary, so, good luck. So that's definitely a problem. Possibly Royal Guard might work as well, but we'd have to tweak the speed tune somewhat. Basically, the reason that this works is that Ninja has a 3-turn cooldown on his A2, and he basically cycles through that twice for each one of these phases, right? So he's going to A2 when he's asleep, he's going to place the burn and explode it, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a very cool team, very successful. How quick did we do it in this particular run? Coming in here, 234 for this particular run, 234, and it's 100% win rate. There's no way that it can fail, right? There's no fail condition at all. The big AoE doesn't matter. They just triggers a revive chain. They have more than enough healing to top everybody off. They're nowhere close to dying either. So I'm going to show you the stats in a second. That's something to look at. But if we look at this, so let me go back a bit further. Like if we see his A2 right there, you can see they get chunked a bit, but not too much, right? They're still very, very healthy. They're not really in much danger of dying, but that's going to be, what would be kind of important. You just need to make sure there's enough gear to keep them alive. So let me show you the gear and all that. So here we go. This is going to be fairly intensive, guys, unfortunately. So we can see the gear. The most intensive thing is the speeds. The speeds are very, very, very high. Okay, 280 speed on Godseeker, 279 on Elva, and 298 on Ninja. You might be able to drop that down. Basically, Grandelama said he was building Ninja with a ridiculously good gear to try to get him to consistently solo stage 15 really, really quickly. So I think you could maybe drop this gear somewhat. It just needs to be quick enough to get through 2A2s before the boss comes back. So possibly something like, over 270 would work here as well, right? The boss is, I think, 265 speed. So you'd need to be over 265 speed at the very, very least. But there we are. These are the guys. You can, let me actually zoom it in so it's easy for you to see. We do have regen sets on everyone just to make sure that, everyone heals up and it's nice and clean and no worries about that. We can see that Elva doesn't really have any masteries. Godseeker has defensive masteries to crank that up. We've got the accuracy on Ninja. Accuracy on Ninja does need to be about 500. That's for stage 505 for stage 25. It's a little lower for stage 24. Aim for about 500 to be nice and safe. And you don't need really any crit damage or anything. You also saw from this that these defensive stats are a bit overkill. You don't need this much. But you'll figure it out for yourself. Like if your max HP is getting decreased and they're not healing it up, or if you're going to actually die from a hit, you're going to need more defensive stats. Something like 60k and health and 3k defense should be fine. And the great news is that these builds are going to carry over to other areas of the game, right? This is an extremely good Elva for Hydra, although for Hydra I'd be trying to get that resistance higher. This is a very, very good Godseeker for Hydra as well. This is going to be a great Ninja for even Nightmare Hydra. He's going to put out a lot of damage with the speed and the HP burns, so you're not going to miss out too much there. Brimstone on at least one of these champions as well is going to speed the run up, right? Those Brimstone procs. So there we go. In terms of the presets, let me zoom back out. So we can see Godseeker, she's just going to open with her A1, no other presets. Elva will open with her A1, no other presets. And then Ninja is going to open with the A1, and we're going to turn off the A3. That is important so that he gets back to his Hailburn at the right time. If you left the A3 on, I believe it would break the speed tune. I guess the effect wouldn't be too bad. It would just mean it would just slow down the run because he's not going to get the Hailburn HP burn proc effect doing damage when the boss is asleep, right? And again, you could probably use other damage dealers. They're just going to be a lot slower, apart from a Chrysia, who I think might be even faster. Haven't seen that tested yet. But there you go, guys. What do you think? I was really impressed by this team, honestly. It is high gear requirements. So what I would say is this is something that you can definitely aim for. Elva was a guaranteed. If you've got Ninja when you were playing, you can make it work. Like I do have Ninja. I was playing back then. I got Elva from the guaranteed. So I can make this team work. I'm not in a rush to build this team yet. But this is a team I'm going to build when the Geomancer team stops working. But I can totally just farm like level 7 or one of the low levels really quickly to ascend up my gear. And then when you start actually getting speed boots with extra speed, or, HP chests with extra HP percent or whatever, then you can actually build up and reach these stats much more easily, right? When you actually start ascending gear and getting good pieces, you can put them on these champions. And these can be the champions then with your best gear ascended that can help you to farm up those last, 2 levels of ascension on the gear, which is going to be difficult and you really need to farm a high stage. So yeah, there we go. Again, big shout out to Grandelama from Sin Wrath for coming up with this 100% win rate variation. I'm curious to see where stuff goes. No day set involved, no randomness. It just works the same every single time. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Very clever composition, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.